Ladies and gentlemen, to those among you who are easily frightened, we suggest you turn away now. To those of you who think they can take it, we say, welcome to the madhouse.
Hello and welcome to the Madhouse Podcast. My name is Joey, and with me once again is the man who for some mysterious, unknown reason shares the same piss schedule as me. If I go for a piss at a gig, this man is either there, already, or about to turn up. It's one of those great unsolvable mysteries, but for me it has brought a more real meaning to the saying, going for a Jimmy Riddle. It's Jimmy Faulkner!
Oi, oi!
How you doing, Jimmy?
Yes, I'm good. It's been like that since the day we met, though, innit?
My wedding?
At your wedding, yeah. First
Yes.
day we met, we were on the same piss schedule, and we have been ever since.
Yeah, you were Nat's guest.
Yeah, Nat's
plus
guest.
one.
Yeah.
I sat at a bar, about to buy a drink. You pulled up a stool next to me and said, "You're not paying for a drink."
Yeah.
Bought me the drink I was going to get and a shot.
Yeah.
And I was like, Sam, luckily you've just married me because I think I just met the person in my dreams. Anyway, The Borderlands.
The Borderlands.
Wicked film.
Yeah?
When it gets there.
When it gets there, yeah. Yeah, it's a strange one.
Released in 2013 under the name The Borderlands. Not released in the US until 2015 under a new name, Final Prayer.
Which I personally think is a much better name. Because what the f*** does Borderlands mean?
It's in Devon. Devon's on the border.
Of what?
The sea.
But there's no C in it.
No, it isn't. And
Final Prayer is a banging name because of what happens at the very, very end.
yeah, I agree with you.
England, you cocked up.
Well, yeah, like I say, filmed in Devon, in Denbury, to be exact.
Denbury?
Denbury.
Where's that?
In Devon.
Of course it is. Fuck, Jesus.
So, we'll get there. We'll build up to being on the ball.
Okay.
Don't want to start.
I'm on the ball.
If we start off well, we've got nothing to aim for.
Yeah.
I couldn't see any box office figures for this, could you?
I'm not going to lie, I didn't look.
Oh.
I was hoping you'd look.
Well, I did look. Couldn't find any. No monetary indication to its success, but the reviews were mostly positive.
I don't think it went straight to... I don't think it came out in the cinema then.
You think it went straight to DVD?
Straight to DVD.
I did wonder.
Yeah. Yeah,
the
probably.
director Elliot Goldner, who wrote it as well, it was his first ever. It was his directorial debut.
Yeah, okay.
I should say.
Yeah.
So, shall we plot slot?
Yeah, let's do it.
Are you sure?
What?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
Sound
just going to
sure?
have a sip of the old brandy before we
Yeah.
start.
That was my surprise drink for you this week.
Yeah, nice.
To
Keeping
mix
it
up
fresh.
Sometimes.
Ugh.
Sorted. I'm going to set timer. Anyway, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Off you go.
It opens with some classic shaky cam action of what I assume are police raiding some sort of shrine. Why they are pulling speakers out of the walls at this point is a mystery. A bearded fella, in a panic, explains some people are missing and it's all gone to shit.
Onto a guy wearing a head cam setting up various surveillance cameras around a cottage somewhere in England. This is now 100% a found footage film. Enter the bearded man who is introduced as Deacon. It's made clear by the tech guy Gray that the head cams must be worn at all times.
Cue spooky late night surveillance shots. Something's outside. Don't know what it is yet. But hey, the unlikely duo head off in search of a church, still no idea what for. They find the slightly ruined church with its congregation of two. The priest, Father Krellick, shows the two a video of a baptism that was interrupted by some weird poltergeist action. Bells are ringing, candlesticks falling over, etc. You know the drill. Deacon exclaims that it's a very impressive video. Gray rigs the church with more cameras.
To the pub!
To the pub! What, now?
Nope, in the story,
Oh.
where it's kind of explained that Deacon travels around debunking, finding miracles for an organisation called the Congregation.
An Irish priest, Father Mark, arrives and they sit down to enjoy a lovely fish supper, which is ruined by the horrible screams of a burning sheep on the front lawn. I think have we all been there?
Oh, yeah. Every time I go to the chip shop, someone seems to follow me with a bloody sheep and murder it outside my house.
That's terrible.
Was that a sheep dying?
Yeah, it was. Brother Deacon acts quick, puts the flames out, and stabs the sheep in the neck with a kitchen knife.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to put you off your fish supper.
Cue spooky surveillance shots from the church. The father is there. Praying, perhaps? At midnight? What?
I thought he was having a wank.
Maybe he was.
Why not?
May the power of Christ compel you.
Holy wank.
Off the team go to the church, where they usher Father Krellick away for a few days while they examine the church for any signs to debunk the supposed paranormal video. Mark can hear a faint noise like paint being scraped off the walls. Gray, outside, also hears strange sounds. Mark sticks his head in a hole and is knocked to the ground. They take him back to the cottage.
And the boozing begins again.
Oh, yeah.
Deacon and Gray, they sit down, they crack open some beers, crack open some wine. And this is where it gets explained at the start about Deacon's thing, innit, in Bethlehem.
Yeah, is this where at the pub?
No, they're back. Is it? No, they're back at their place drinking.
Okay.
Drinking, and Deacon explains that he was there to search for some sort of miracle. It was going to be the new Lords.
Yeah.
He thought everyone was being drugged with DMT, and then the priests all disappeared and got killed.
Yes. And he had been advised to end his investigations.
Yes.
By the Vatican, who he works for, by the way. He'd gone against their ruling. Bit of a rebel, Deacon.
Yeah, he is. Cue another late night surveillance shot of Father Krellick praying. Pew doors creaking open, bells ringing, and a camera interference. We get the sense now that something real is happening at the church. The team head back to the church to find the father in a state of disarray. Gray sets up a series of mics to find the origin of the bizarre noises. It's coming from the walls.
A cross falls from the altar. Deacon spots Father Krellick outside a window, so Mark gives chase, believing this is still a hoax. He climbs to the top of the church where he watches as Father Krellick jumps to his death. Deacon and Gray meanwhile hear a baby crying and a crucifix crashes to the ground.
So what do? Back to the pub! Yeah, boy! But they're not welcome at this pub.
No,
doors are shut. Get out. You're not having any more booze.
no.
Gutted. So that means surely the investigation's over. Nope. Deacon heads back late at night, slightly drunk, and sees images of the dead priests that lead him to a hidden door in the church that seems to have sounds of babies coming out of it. Deacon calls on the help of an old priest, his mentor, to expel the demon from the church. However, of course, this don't go to plan.
It does not go to plan.
You got to have an old priest and a young priest. That's the rules.
Yeah.
For these kind of things.
Yeah. And the priest has always got to land in a plane and just come out and be like, what's the problem?
And he went, oh, that was a lovely flight.
Yeah.
Did he get that plane straight from the Vatican?
It seems like it, yeah. The Vatican's it's a bit flush with cash.
Well, yeah, they've got to hide a lot of discrepancies around diddling kids.
Yep. And that's not even not true.
No.
It's pretty bad. But still, I've lost where we are. During the old priest's ritual, shit hits the fan. They get locked in. Mark disappears down the passage behind the hidden door. Deacon and Gray try to catch up to him, but can never quite get to him. Travelling deeper down into the catacombs, they come across an altar. A human sacrifice altar and tiny cages and tiny skulls. It's a baby sacrifice altar. Now, it's mentioned earlier in the film.
Yes.
The first guy to set up a church there.
The first minister.
Was also told by some being to set up an orphanage nearby. that is when it becomes clear why he was told to set up an orphanage.
Yeah. Down they go. The tighter the walls get, crawling through passageway after passageway. They crawl through a tight tunnel. One end seems to contract shut. The way out behind them also contracts shut.
Shit.
Trapped.
Liquid drips from the walls, burning the flesh off of Deacon and Grey. So it's off Deacon and Grey. I always get told off saying off of. My wife did English at university.
My wife.
It's a nightmare. My wife. Did I get that accent right? Borat?
Oh, it's Borat.
It
Right.
is, yeah.
Yeah. I've not
The
seen
tunnel begins moving and contracting on them both like an intestine as they seem to be being digested by the monster or ancient god that lives under the hill.
Yes, and the last thing we see of them is Deacon reciting the rosary and Grey just babbling shit,
Screaming his head off.
giving it some. So there you go. That is fucking Borderlands or Final Prayer,
Yeah.
which I think it should have been called Final Prayer for Deacon's sort of final prayer while they're trapped in this weird tunnel thing.
Yep. And we got about 2 minutes left. That is how you do a plot slot. Short, precise, nice.
Right, here we go. We're
Liked
back
it.
on track now.
Yes, and next up, we are going to go to Frights and Delights.
Yeah. The only Holy Spirit I believe in is vodka. This is Frights and Delights.
Oh, I
You
can
right
tell
there, boy?
you. I can tell you. I was. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That really tickled me. Yeah, I could tell you had something. There was a glint in your eye. Yeah,
Glint, yeah. That's the brandy.
that is the brandy. Yeah. The second best Holy Spirit.
Oh, yeah.
Right. There's not much info out there about this film, is there?
No, but I think we need to clarify certain little bits. And what were your favourite sort of bits in it as well?
My favourite bit, I liked Deacon punching that teenager in the face.
Great.
That was one for every adult who's ever had a teenager be a dick, the teenager knowing you can't punch them.
He went up to him and flexed him as well. Yeah, he flexed on him and then he just got a twat in the face.
It was brilliant.
Bang. Down.
That's definitely one of my favourites. The end is the best.
Oh, yeah, when you turned it off.
No.
Oh. But what was... Because there's a few bits with the teenagers of the town that kind of never really gets explained. Because
Okay.
they come to the cottage and we see it on the surveillance near the start. They're
Yeah.
outside with like their, I don't know, fucking phones or something.
Yeah.
And Deacon opens, I think Deacon goes down and then you see him on the surveillance and they disappear. You don't know if it's the teenagers, but it probably is. And you can always hear them playing their music and they're walking past them. And they obviously put the sheep on the lawn, set that on fire.
Yeah.
Bastards ran off. I don't know. What was the purpose of that?
The teenagers.
Yeah.
It was, I think, it was another reason to have shit going on, but to have, Mark and Deacon were both skeptical of the miracle.
Yeah.
It was a way for them to easily explain away some of the stuff that was happening, which makes it easier for them to explain further stuff.
Of course. Yeah, of course, because they say... he says to Father Krellick, you've been tricked by the kids because of the Carlsberg cans
Yes.
and stuff.
Yeah.
When the pew doors are open, they're taking a piss and there's graffiti and stuff in the church. Yes, of course it is.
The two skeptical people in this film are the two religious people.
Yes.
And the one who's thinking, hey, maybe we should, give this bit more of a look is is not atheist, is he? Because he says he believes in something. Agnostic dude. That's a nice little twist. I know you don't seem to be a massive fan of the film. But I liked it for its little intricacies, and I kind of see what they were doing, and I quite liked this film. And that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one. I did like this film, but it is very confusing.
Okay.
I think
It can be slow and boring. It's because it's a different take on the found footage film. There is a reason for all these cameras to be set up, and I like that they set up this reason as well. No, we need to record everything and be thorough. So we're wearing head cams, and there's cameras everywhere we are, just so we capture anything that happens. Yeah, and it's not just people walking around with a handheld cam.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was that there was some sort of pagan site.
Yes.
Under the church, before the church was built.
Yeah, on the site of the church.
Yeah. And then they built a church on it.
Yes.
And then the previous minister started an orphanage and started sacrificing babies.
What was the first minister?
Yeah. Started sacrificing children to some sort of god. Yes. Who then apparently, lives under the ground?
Yeah, he lives in the cave system.
Right, in the catacombs, in the cave system. Right, okay, there's some sort of old god.
Yes.
And he got rid of his religion and started worshipping that pagan stuff.
Yeah.
So then that is what did Deacon and Gray get caught in? Did they just go straight into the?
Yeah, it was a trap. They went basically into in a passage that was part of the god or monster, whatever it is.
Right. Yes.
And they were being digested.
Yeah.
That was basically stomach acidy stuff. And they were in an intestine.
Sucked. It just went like a sphincter.
Yeah.
And it both ends.
And
he's that's it. Gray was like, it stinks in here. Didn't he? He went, this stinks in here. And you could tell it was different to all the other things
the
they
walls
went in,
were
it was rounder.
Yeah.
And it was like, I just wanted Pennywise to come out.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to do the 1990 mini-series one day if you want Pennywise again, because we're done with the modern stuff.
Yeah.
Unless that prequel that I haven't pitched to anyone yet, but, it'll happen.
Okay, right.
What was your favourite bit then?
My favourite...
Since you asked me.
Well, my favourite bit was when they went down into the catacombs, and it suddenly became it didn't suddenly become clear, but when they found the altar and they found the pictures, and do you know what? I just wanted to see Gray die. The most annoying man in any film I've ever watched ever.
Yes.
Terrible.
Well, no, Mark was worse.
He's a priest, though, so you can let him off for being a prick. This guy was just a normal person.
But that was an intentional, everybody knows this guy type character, I think.
Or was it bad acting? But we can get to that.
We can get to that, And I know what you're saying, and you're not the only person I've come across who thinks it.
Terrible.
I've got some little frights and delights.
Yeah, go on.
For you. But like I said, newer films are hard because there's not much stories about them. People don't seem to care about the lore and the background of these films anymore as much as they, during the 70s, 80s, people would go, "Ooh, I hear it's haunted."
Right, yeah, okay.
Or you'd get some stories of on the set stuff.
Oh, like that they were the curse of some sort
or even
of film
stuff like
set.
in I don't know why it's come to my mind. Reanimator, the guy's wife. David, how could you?
My wife. Yes.
After the giving head scene, and they ended up getting divorced later on.
Yeah.
It was a knock-on effect from him doing that scene and not telling his wife that he'd be basically putting his face in a 21-year-old image.
Well, it's like rock and roll, isn't it? Rock and roll ain't what it used to be.
Well, it is for us.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, but then you get some bands who are drinking fucking mineral water and, I don't know, snorting fucking Barocca.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and then you get some films where it's just like, oh, yeah, we need to do this film. Or we could have fucking Oliver Reed getting tanked up and fucking getting Larry and going out having a good time and then rocking up on set next day doing all this shit again, acting.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. I went off on a tangent.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of...
No, but your point is
yeah, I've done
true.
it.
People used to brag about the shit they'd done.
Yeah.
And the fun they'd had. Whereas now they don't because...
the There ain't no fun.
Perception has changed.
Yeah.
We still get very drunk now. I just want everyone to still get drunk and have a good time. I don't see what's wrong with that. Anyway.
Right, tangent. Let's go.
Okay, I was going to some Frights and Delights.
Beautiful.
But like I said, there weren't many, and then we went on a tangent. But the pub in the film was called the Union Inn. They provided food for the crew. That's where the catering came from. Apparently, that's a fact that's on the internet that seems to be interesting for
What
some
kind
people.
of food do they have? Sausage rolls?
Who knows or cares? I'm classing that as a fright because it's such a boring fact. It's like saying, oh, this company provided... I guess it's interesting the fact that it was a pub that was in the film and they did the catering because they were filming in that town.
Yeah.
But still, who really gives a shit?
Weirdly, the barmaid had 6 fingers.
That'd be a good one.
It's just Devon, isn't it?
Yeah.
They all have all flippers. Just kidding.
The film itself was not finished until just a few days before it premiered at Fright Fest. So it was a rush.
Okay.
Did well at Fright Fest, though. Got good reviews. Gray is at one point wearing an Unearthly Stranger t-shirt, which is a film from 1964 about a man who marries an alien, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
So that's now on my watch list, because anytime I hear about a horror film that sounds slightly interesting I've not watched it, I add it to a list that I'll never get through. Okay, this is actually a good delight. And it's my last one before I go off and tell you a story about something.
Okay, I'd just like to point out that Joey was pointing at me when he was doing that.
What was I doing?
This is actually my doing that aggressive pointing style. Obviously, you can't see it, but I am pointing in an aggressive style.
So Gray shouts at a strange old man that they ask for directions.
Okay.
He shouts, "Good luck with Edward Woodward."
Oh, yes.
Edward Woodward was an actor who played Sergeant Howie in The Wicker Man and Tom Weaver in Hot Fuzz. So I think that's a reference to the strange villagers in Hot Fuzz, because they're turning up to a town. They're outsiders like Simon Pegg is a cop.
Yeah, I don't think that's directly Hot Fuzz. I think that's obviously like Wicker Man as well.
Yes, I know,
And that
yeah.
kind of thing.
You know the guy I'm talking about?
Yes, I know the guy.
It was comical.
He doesn't say anything, yeah.
Yeah, it was comical as well, so
Yeah.
I think it's both.
That's really good, yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. That's great. That's a lovely little...
I just heard him shout it, and
Devonish
I went,
delight.
rewinded and went, what was he saying? Because he said have fun with, and it piqued my interest. I'm done for my main Frights and Delights, but I have a story, and I know you have something for this section as well. So do you want to go first, or shall I go first? Should we flip a coin, arm wrestle?
I think
Wrestle?
you should go first, because mine's going to get very sexual.
Alright, yeah, you know how I get after the sexual stories. I won't be able to talk for an hour.
Yeah.
I have to take a break, man. My real life church haunting.
Woo!
Oh, I knew that sound effects pad would come in handy, Jimmy. Borley Church.
Sound
and
effects
Rectory.
prick. Sorry, start again. Sorry.
What did you say?
I said sound effects prick.
Okay, yeah.
Not pad, you see what I did? I changed pad for
yeah,
prick.
Yeah.
I was having a pop at myself.
Okay. It was a complex joke, but I managed to understand it.
We'll get there.
So, Borley Church and Rectory. Borley Church is thought to have been around in some form or other since the 11th century, when its suspected work on the nave began. Later additions to its structure were added from the 14th to the 16th century. The rectory was built much later in 1862. It's the rectory where most of the haunting activity is reported to have occurred, starting just 1 year after its construction. Rumours of inexplicable footsteps and reported noises of general human activity where there was none.
Yeah.
In 1900, the ghost of a nun was reported by the 4 daughters of the incumbent reverend. They saw her in the garden and approached her, only for her to vanish as they got closer. Numerous incidents were reported over the following decades. Perhaps the most disturbing of all of these were the sightings of a ghostly carriage being driven by 2 headless horsemen. In 1927, a new family took charge of the rectory. Took charge of the, that's my dad's side coming out there. A new family took charge in 1927 of the rectory, and shortly afterwards they found the skull of a young lady hidden in a brown paper bag.
Ooh.
It did not take long for this family, headed by Reverend Guy Smith, and only the second ever family to take the reins of the rectory, to start hearing the strange footsteps that had become so familiar to the building's previous occupants.
Ooh.
Servants' bells started to ring for no reason, even after they'd been disconnected.
What?
The ghostly nun continued to evade conversation. Lights appeared at random in windows, and the Reverend's wife even reported seeing the ghostly carriage and its decapitated drivers. When, in 1929, a paranormal investigator called Harry Price went to investigate, the ghouls did not hide. Instead, they decided to put on more of a show. Stones and vases were thrown and messages appeared on mirrors. The Smiths had enough and left Borley Rectory in 1929, lasting just 2 years under the torment of their unwanted guests. Or were they the guests?
Oh, yes.
A replacement was hard to find as the stories of Borley Rectory and Church had spread. Finally, when a new family moved in, the phenomena started again. Windows were smashed, and at one point the daughter of the family was locked in a room that had no known key. The wife, Marianne Foster, was thrown from her bed, and the daughter was attacked by some unseen force, and the persistent nun carried on her never-ending walk of the dead around the grounds. This family left in 1935 and were the last ever family to occupy the rectory. In 1939, as boxes were being unpacked, an oil lamp was knocked down, and the rectory was burned in a fire so badly it was unsavable. Later investigations showed that the fire had been started deliberately.
Yes.
The building was subsequently demolished in 1944 after being left in a state of disrepair for years. Borley Church, however, still stands to this day. Just a stone's throw away from the rectory was built, haunted, and eventually burnt. Of course, the church still has its own reports of hauntings, including organ music being played with no musicians, religious chanting with no source, and of course, the ever-elusive figure of the nun.
Ugh! The nun!
Still knocking around those grounds.
Now, where do you stand on this? Like, do you believe
on the
what they're saying?
haunting?
Yes. Do you believe in the supernatural the hauntings of this, or does it smell a little bit like somebody's abusing these families?
Well, I don't know. Is it Harry Price?
Yes.
He was a con artist. It's heavily suspected that the activity increased when he arrived because he was increasing it.
Yep. Child gets locked in a room. Woman gets dragged out of her bed. Oh, it's got to be ghosts.
Yeah, but it wasn't even an old creaky house. You hear
No.
stuff. It didn't even last that long. The rectory.
No,
it's possible something was going on.
Yeah.
I'm not usually the type of person who believes in ghostly happenings. The church stuff carrying on could just be we've lost that rectory, so maybe we need to still have the haunting on because it's bringing a few people in.
Exactly, giving
It's
them a
getting us
little
in
bit of
the
bucks.
news. So I mean, if I heard this stuff in my house, I would find reasons for it that are not ghosts.
Well, yeah, like Deacon, like Brother Deacon, we'd go out and we'd have a little look about.
An investigation.
Yeah, we'd set up, I don't know, cameras and shit.
There's always pipes, who knows what, making noises.
Yeah.
But still, hauntings are very interesting.
They're real. They're there. Anyway,
They're there.
Maybe they're not real, but they're there.
Yeah, they're there. I
They're there.
believe that people see things. The nun,
Yeah.
you can't explain.
Yeah.
The decapitated horse
Maybe
drivers,
Well, yeah.
horsemen, sorry. Who knows? It's been seen by numerous people, or there are accounts of numerous people seeing it, so Who knows? But then maybe some person says, "Oh, I saw a headless driver," and then that's in the papers, and then the next people that come think, "Oh, well, they got some publicity when they did that, so maybe we'll see it too."
Yeah, okay. Brilliant. So have we got time? I just want to give you a couple of little rundowns. Have we got time?
Yeah.
For me to chuck you out another little list of my top. I'll just give you 3 murdering priests.
Okay, yep.
So, first up, we got Father Ryan Erickson. A double murder that no one understood took place 13 years ago in a town of Wisconsin. A funeral director and his employee were shot in the middle of the day by an unknown assailant. They both died. It was 3 years before anyone discovered who the criminal was. When they finally did find out, the entire town was shocked to discover it was a local priest. He killed his 2 victims to cover a prior crime. I think we all know what this is going to be.
Yes.
The sexual assault he committed on a young boy. After being questioned by the police, Erickson hanged himself. He left a suicide note claiming he was innocent. However, evidence against him and 15 witnesses' statements convinced the judge that he had committed the ultimate sin.
Did he rape someone in front of 15 people?
Well, he must have done. And now, as we found out in the film, he's not going to heaven because if you commit suicide, that's a mortal sin.
Yeah, he was guilty as shit. Because he would have lived with the torment.
Yeah.
And still being a good man if he was innocent and was a good man.
Yeah.
Knowing where his faith was.
Yeah.
But he clearly didn't either have much faith or he was diddling kids. Or both.
She's a dirty little pervert, isn't it? Number 2, Father John Fiat. An elderly priest who was accused of sexually assaulting a young beauty queen and then murdering her has avoided any punishment for 15 years. He was 27 at the time and she was 25. He was a suspect because he had already been caught sexually assaulting someone before and only fined $500. The family of the victim are convinced he committed the crime even after 50 years of apparent innocence. After the incident, the priest was moved to another monastery. Didn't seem to suffer any punishment. He lives comfortably now as a retiree and a grandfather. The victim's family believe he was let off due to corrupt officials who let him go because he's a priest. Absolutely, 100%. The victim's family have been literally here.
Yeah, I don't get what it is about being a priest that gives you a pass for stuff.
It's 'cause
I know it's... Oh, and I do want to say, there's lots of priests out there who just are fine. They make you a cup of tea, they put the kettle on, they talk you through your issues, they go and do sermons.
And then they go, can you give me a handy J?
A what?
A handy J.
The is a handy J?
Hand job. Should I have to spell it out for you?
Don't get it out for me. No, there are lots that don't do that, but it does seem that there is a massive issue in the fucking church. And what the shit? All right, give me the other one.
Okay,
I'm going to hang myself.
Okay, this is the last one. Father Andres Kuhn. Kuhn was a Roman Catholic priest and a commander of a Nazi death squad. He would command his squad to massacre Jews while shouting, "In the name of Christ, fire!" I went a bit Jamaican, but
yeah,
you
what
know.
happened to love your neighbour? Love thy neighbour.
Wow.
The neighbour. The neighbour.
The neighbour. Kuhn didn't have any mercy for Jews. Kuhn. There's no T on the end, but we could put T on the end. Didn't have any mercy for Jews and even attacked a Jewish hospital, killing 149 Jews, including doctors and nurses. He later attacked it again, killing 80 to 100 more victims. Later, he killed over 500 Jews and the people who housed them while they were attempting to hide the Jews from the Nazis. Eventually, was captured by enemy forces and tried for the murder of over 500 people. He was hanged to death on September 19th, 1945. Now, isn't it surprising that out of the 3 priests who committed unspeakable murders, that one was a f***ing Nazi?
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I got for you.
Well, that guy can f*** off.
Well, he's dead.
All of them can off, obviously, but
Yeah.
Jeez.
Priests, man. Priests.
you're always bringing the smiles, aren't you, Jimmy? You know?
Yeah, man. Religion causes war. And on that bombshell.
All right, Jeremy Clarkson. Don't give me that look. We're going to go and move on to the Master of the Macabre.
Master of the Macabre.
Welcome to the Master of the Macabre. We are going to pick our saint and separate him from the sinners by picking our favourite actor from the Borderlands. And I have just one choice.
Yeah, I've only got one choice as well. I mean, it's slim pickings.
Well, yeah. First off, there aren't many people in this film.
No, okay, yeah.
3 main guys, really. 2 main guys if you want to be picky.
Yeah.
One of them didn't pick up his game well enough to start with, at least for me.
Yeah.
So, should we do a 3, 2, 1? Since we've only got one each.
Yeah, okay.
3, 2, 1. Gordon Kennedy.
Gordon Kennedy.
What was that?
I couldn't remember his name, so I was waiting for you to say it.
I thought you were like, I'm just going to pick whoever you pick. Fuck it, can't be bothered.
No. Gordon Kennedy.
I could have said you're Mother Teresa.
So, Gordon, he's been in your standard British fare, hasn't he? He's been in your Doctors. He's been in Casualty.
Yeah.
He's been in any sort of British shit that you could get. He was in an episode of Red Dwarf.
Oh shit! Didn't know that. What did you know?
I don't think it's credible.
Okay.
There's only the episode The Last Days, but other than that, nah. Oh, hold on. I think I'm right in saying that he presented the National Lottery. The original one, when it first came out.
Jeez.
With Anthea Turner. Yeah.
Fair enough. Interesting little fact.
Well, I don't know. Is it interesting or is it just like...
We've had someone before who I've been like, it's been in anything. It was in Horror Hospital. Someone who was in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The main guy. The main teenager kid. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Robin?
Yeah,
Something?
Robin. Yeah.
He had been in Casualty, EastEnders, Coronation Street.
Oh, yes.
And everything as well. Yeah. He'd done the British rounds of television, much like Gordon Kennedy.
Yeah, it's a British staple if you're going to be a British actor. Or an actor. Well, no, I'm just going to say British actor.
Yeah.
Or a shit actor.
A shit British... No, Gordon Kennedy was alright.
Gordon Kennedy was alright in this film. I liked how his brother... Deacon, and he obviously was a priest at some point, and then he sort of went on to be this working for the Vatican, or what is it called, the congregation, to find. I think they send them out to essentially find or to prove that miracles are right, but basically just to go out there and go, no, you need to just shut this whole thing down and say these aren't.
Yeah, it's kind of to investigate miracles. I'm guessing.
Yeah. A bullshit investigator.
Yeah, because they even said in the film that we get a lot of these people in small towns just wanting to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
By having a miracle.
Yeah.
Or
And
two.
and the ginger father cleric. Cleric.
Whatever.
Yeah. His church was on the... Like, it had shit. No one was turning up. So it was like, he's thinking, well, they need to get people in, so we'll perform this sort of fucking miracle.
Yes.
And get him in. But he's there going, no, he's the bullshit detector. He's father bullshit detector. Brother bullshit detector.
I thought he was like a relatable character.
100%.
Was also working for the Vatican.
Yeah.
Is a maverick priest.
Yep.
A rebel who doesn't do things by the book.
Yeah.
And he drinks too much.
He doesn't drink too much. Too much.
He drinks too much for a priest.
Yeah, I think my favourite bit was when Deacon and the dickhead tech guy went out and they came back and the tech guy's just got like crisps and food and stuff and all Deacon's got is a bag of booze.
Yeah.
Wine.
So, by drinking too much, I mean... it's looked down upon because he's a priest and he's getting drunk. So Deacon isn't one for taking shit. And I like that. Gordon Kennedy, I was checking him out online.
Oh, yeah.
Not in that way.
Well, he's a handsome fella. He's got a nice...
also a comedian?
Oh, yes. I think he did do some earlier stuff, actually, that was comedy-based.
Yeah, I heard that he had been a comedian. So I had a look online to find some of his comedy and found a 1997 video of stand-up, and I couldn't tell a word he was saying at all. And I thought, wow, his accent used to be really, really strong.
Oh, because he's Scottish.
Yeah, because I have watched TV shows before a film before based in Glasgow, and it had subtitles because the accent was so strong. So it wasn't too far out the realms of possibility.
Ewy man.
It was worse than that.
Oh, look at me, what this?
Anyway, I couldn't understand a word he was saying. Turns out it wasn't him.
Who was it?
Spent 2 or 3 minutes trying to understand French. So I didn't find any footage of his comedy, but I did see a French guy try and get some laughs for a while, and I was like, this is some really strong Scottish accent. I can't understand what he's saying. So that was embarrassing, but there you go. I think Gordon Kennedy deserves to win.
Yeah, I mean...
The coveted Master of the Macabre.
Absolutely, 100%. He carried the whole film. That Irish priest who was... Did you know anything about him? Was he
Mark?
actually Irish? Yeah.
No,
because I'm sure he drops his accent at one point when he's talking to the other old priest.
He's like, top of the morning to you. Would you like a cup of tea?
Yeah, like that, when they're out having a fag. Like, yeah. Where, I don't know where my mammy is, but would you like a cigarette?
Yeah.
It was like that. And I didn't pick up on it. Nat picked up on it. So, I don't know. It could be wrong. It probably is wrong. So,
okay.
You can blame her.
I'm guessing you were not a fan of Robin Hill.
No, terrible.
Grey.
Absolutely terrible. Too over the top. Don't know what... Like, is this an independent film?
Yeah,
There's not a lot... I'm guessing there's not a lot of money flowing about for it. Because if there was a little bit more cash, they probably would have got a better actor.
You see, I half disagree with you, Robin Hill.
Okay, go on then.
And we'll get to it in performance.
Oh, okay. Lovely.
Because we're about to right off to the Madhouse rating system.
Yes!
The Madhouse rating system.
Here we go. It's the Madhouse rating system. First up, as always, is tension and suspense.
I think it gets better as it goes along.
Okay.
It's very calm, settled in the beginning. It's very British.
Yeah.
Shall I put the kettle on type of dialogue?
Yeah.
Boring. Like a bit like a soap opera, but it's meant to be real life.
Yeah,
So
but we're seeing it from a surveillance camera point of view.
But it keeps getting darker and weirder. And I know you're not a massive fan of this film. It's quite clear. I think I might change your mind just a smidge by the end of this rating system.
Okay.
The two religious guys are the skeptics as things start to kick off, and the atheist or agnostic dude is the one who starts to believe some supernatural goings on are really happening here, yeah?
Yeah.
The best bits of tension, apart from the whole ending sequence, which is brilliant, are the ghost detection in the church.
Yeah.
When they're tracking the movement and noise in certain places, there's an edge of the seat moment, the chills multiplying, etc.
Losing control.
Yeah, I just said multiplying, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because the power you're supplying, I knew I'd get there again. The baby crying.
Yeah, and it's electrifying.
That's it.
Is that a new line? Was that that was the cut line? The baby crying was the cut line from the Grease film.
Yeah. And that's the second time we've done that. Maybe the
third. That was Grease 3, where they all kidnapped a baby.
Yeah. You got chills, they're multiplying, and the sacrifices you're supplying. The baby's crying. Yeah. That was an unnerving moment. The baby starts crying, and they assume they may be picking up a baby monitor. Then Gray turns the equipment off, and the baby is still crying. Like that. That would give you a chill if it happened to you.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And it does a part of this film because of the way it's shot. Everything is very real in this film, as in the mundane, boring bits are mundane and boring because it's meant to be normal people.
Okay.
I don't think it's meant. This is not a Hollywood horror film.
Yeah.
These are normal British people, mundane.
Yeah.
And the phenomenal stuff is happening.
Okay, right.
So the priest killing himself is a good moment in terms of driving the story.
Yeah, he's got something to hide. We all know that.
Yeah, he's helping the god under there. Not everything's got kids in it.
Oh.
But the best tension, as I said, is the ending sequence. They're exploring deeper into this cave system. And as they do, the story and loose ends all kind of come together. And the reasoning for the orphanage being built originally becomes very clear as they find the sacrificial altar and the baby bones scattered all around. Then finally the acid dissolving them while they're alive and squirming to get free from the ever-tightening grip of what we have to assume is an ancient god's intestines and digestive fluid.
Yes.
Lovely.
Stomach or something, isn't it? Yeah.
Tension and suspense in overall, as in for a score. The bits like the sheep being sacrificed on the lawn.
I don't think that was a
get
sacrifice, though, was it?
Well, it was being killed. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just...
At the time, you don't really know.
Yeah, it's just
clear.
country bumpkins, isn't it?
Yeah, but it all adds to the overall feel of the film.
Yeah, it's kind of... That sort of thing is kind of like what a magician does, where they're doing one thing with a hand, but they're doing the other thing with the other.
Yes.
So it's sort of... And like that bit near the start where we get the surveillance shot of... We don't know who it is. We assume it's the teenagers. We can see them outside the window. And they wake up Deacon, and then it just disappears. And then the sheep thing happens.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a, look this way... But then it's not. It's actually a gigantic demon underneath a church.
Yeah.
So we're being thrown a thing.
You kind of wonder as well if the teenagers might be in on something, if the whole village might be in on something. You don't know.
Well, yeah, and I thought about like because it was the kids and the orphanage. Maybe it's all kind of connected, but I think that was just like
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. I think that was just kind of I don't know, not to put you off, but just like, look what this hand's doing while this hand's doing the other thing.
Yeah. So I would go for, I don't know, would you give it a star? I'd definitely give it half a star.
I tell you what, the best part of it for tension and suspense is when they are in the catacombs and shit is getting smaller and they're having to crawl through smaller and smaller things, and to me that's the I could do it, but then it's like things are getting smaller and smaller. I don't think I'd fare very well crawling through these.
Well, caving,
that's it, caving,
a thing I find both amazing and I wish I could do it, but I just don't know if I could.
Nah, it's too much. And then when they get...
Not even claustrophobic, but I don't think you have to be claustrophobic to be ridiculously scared of tiny caves.
No, I just think that's like... when you can't move back from where you've came from, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
That's like... And you're sort of trapped. You can only go one way, or you can literally just reverse back. I think that's a bit... I don't like it. It's a bit terrifying.
You want to be able to turn around.
So, yeah, you want to turn. Yeah, exactly. You want to turn around comfortably and then leave.
So what are we saying, though?
Let's give it a half just for the ending.
Okay.
So, that's one half. That's one half of a star. Next up, we have the gore visual effects.
Well, gore, it's nothing.
No, is that really?
The end is a bit, but it's a found footage style film, as was done first, I think, in the Blair Witch Project.
That's the one that's brought it to popularity.
Yes, but they mix it up a bit with the concept, though it's essentially at its core a found footage film. However, it's not just a handheld camera found laying on the ground film.
Yeah.
They get around the limitations of doing a found footage film by having head-mounted and wall-mounted cameras as part of the film's storyline itself.
Well, hold on a minute. How did they find? How are we watching the footage from them in the intestine or the stomach?
From their head cams.
Yeah, I know, but where
set up
is
a
the
relay.
footage being
They set up a relay as they were going in.
Oh, well,
Gray
this is,
said,
I don't know about tech, so...
no, he said, I'm setting up a relay,
Right,
and we can
okay.
follow these as they go along back to get out.
Okay.
But obviously it means the footage. Yeah, no, they thought of that.
Oh, okay, yeah, shit, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair dues.
It's an essential part of their mission to record their investigations. So this has a pretty awesome effect on the film because a lot of the time you forget that everything you see is all from cameras they are using within the film to record themselves and any ghostly going on. The quality of the cameras is good. Unlike previous found footage films, they have decent equipment set up by a pro techie that knows what he's doing, both with the gear and mounting it. It's not grainy. He's got decent HD cameras, hasn't he?
Well, that gives them a good get out, doesn't it? I think they've got decent footage.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, and all the angles are good because all the cameras were set up previous.
Yeah.
He went in there to set them up angles so he could get good angles on these rooms.
Yeah, unlike what you're saying about Blair Witch, which was vomit-inducing.
Running around with a
certain
handheld
people
cam.
in
And,
film.
Yeah. But we get a good film shot within the parameters of its own premise using these cameras that manages to be a found footage film as well as being a professionally shot sequence of events at the same time. So visually, I was quite impressed with the way that premise was executed.
Yeah.
The gore's lacking. It's not a gory film though at all, so I wasn't expecting lots. After that first 10 minutes you think, well, it might pick up, but it doesn't seem like it's going to in terms of gore.
Nah.
What we do get is a nice ending. Not nice as in they walk off into the sunset. Nice as in unexpected because of the rest of the film we just watched.
Yeah.
Disturbing. And the only piece of gore is as Gray and Deacon are being digested in the stomach acid of an ancient pagan god.
Well, we get a slight bit of blood when the ginger priest falls off the, he jumps off the top of the
doesn't even
church.
look that mangled though or anything.
But he's gone very purple. He went very purple, and he was dead, and then he went, and grabbed Gray.
Maybe his blue ball syndrome has spread.
Yeah, probably. Not a lot of gore, but for visual effects, I think it did it well because it is that surveillance camera kind of shooting, head cam, shaky cam. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's not the best.
You hate saying that.
Yeah.
Do you want to give it a half or a star for visual effects?
Nah, it's the ball's in your court, Kobe.
I think gore. You can't give it a score on gore.
Nah, you ain't.
So
getting
I'd
that.
give it half visual effects.
Okay, yeah, all right. So next up is performance.
They were filming in the actual Devonshire caves, as in they were actually in caves. And
Actually, in caves.
in caves.
In caves. Caves.
Caves.
Actually, in caves.
Yes.
Right. Devonshire.
Yes.
Devon.
Yeah.
In England.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think so.
So very, very claustrophobic. So the intensifying panic of the characters as they delve deeper and deeper into smaller, more encroaching areas was apparently not just an act. Apparently they actually started to get a bit, especially if you're doing a few takes in the same place.
Oh, so actually down in the catacombs?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Do we know what cave system they were in?
Nope. The Devonshire cave system.
Okay. Oh, so
If
they
I
were
said, it was the P12A2 caves.
Ah,
just
I know it.
south
I know
of,
it well.
The town of Shropton.
Yep, I know it well.
Yeah.
Yep,
I'd be
do.
talking shit, and it would mean just as much to everyone.
Okay.
The the main criticism of the cast in performance
Was a terrible
is of Robin Hill.
performance? Robin Hill?
Yes.
Yeah,
Gray.
right, okay.
Either he grew into the character or the character was meant to grow with the plot. Gray was an irritating character.
Yep.
But
Prick.
it was meant to be.
Okay.
But it felt forced just for the first quarter of the film. And it kind of didn't work. But I thought he became funny. And I quite grew to warm to him.
At which point?
Just as it went along.
Okay.
The intro was annoying. It was like, oh, come on, just put the head cam on, Deacon, and, I'm going to get in trouble. Can't get the stuff. He was irritating as hell, and Deacon was frustrated with him. But as he went along, I don't know, it's something... He was real. He was a real
He was real.
person.
I suppose you've got to have the dynamic there between Deacon, who's this sort of stoic, not ex-priest, but sort of guy, likes a bit of a drink, but he just wants to get the job done. He wants to have a quiet time of it and get it done and go, oh no, this ain't a miracle. Then you've got to have the opposite of the happy fellow who's coming in, going, all right, mate, right, what's going on, right, hey, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got him giving it, oh, stop, come on, don't be a dick. So you got to have the two. So they work together quite well. They were quite a good duo.
Yeah, I thought it was a good trio.
But trio?
We had, Gordon Kennedy was good as Aidan. No, it was Deacon. Aidan McCardle was Mark. And was very, very punchable.
Absolutely.
Just as he was meant to be. I think he did a good job because he was the straight-laced guy to Deacon's loose cannon. And / priest. I don't know if he was a cannon. He was a priest.
Cannon.
Anyway, we had a good trio. We had Gray, the agnostic dude, who's a bit of a dick. Mark, who's just a dick without many redeemable qualities. At least Gray was a nice guy in general. Mark just seemed like a bit of a dick without many redeemable qualities at all. And Deacon was the good guy with enough of a rebellious side to get what needs doing done.
Yeah, he's the hero.
Yeah.
I think Deacon is. But do you remember that bit? Deacon and Gray, maybe they were at the pub or maybe they went back to the church, but they came back to they were out and they came back to the cottage and it was all dark and they walked in the door and they turned the light on and Mark was just stood there.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you stood in the
What a
dark, you
knob.
fucking idiot?
Yeah.
Having a
Knobhead.
touching his knobhead, probably.
Maybe. Performance is half a star for me as well. With a 1.5.
Yeah, I'm going to give it half for Gordon Kennedy. Duncan Kennedy.
Gordon Kennedy.
James Kennedy.
Who's Duncan
Gordon Kennedy. John F. Kennedy.
Yep.
Okay, 1.5 stars. So, next up we got the musical score and the sound effects.
There's not much to say.
Well, about which part? Musical score or sound effects?
Both. Unless
Right.
you've got shit to say, then say it.
Say
Say it, boy.
I'm going to say that the sound effect, this is what really put me off about this film, that the sound effects of all the rumblings, the scratchings, all the fucking noises from the demon or whatever it was, and the crying babies and stuff, it sounded literally like it was just put there from a speaker.
Like it sat on top of everything else.
Right on top. Exactly, right on top. And it was just like, oh, well, that's a bit naff. Like, you think you'd bring it back a little bit to make it a little bit more real.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was just there, and it was just like, oh, it's just a crying baby. It didn't sound like it was
coming from anywhere.
coming from it. Yeah, exactly. Like, where it should have been coming from, like, from the walls or anything. It was just like it was there.
Yeah,
And
I
it
know
was
what you
always
mean.
loud, and it was like, well...
Part of me, my note, the only note I have for sound effects is it wasn't enough. But I don't mean it like the way you just said it sounds like too much because it was sat on top, but it wasn't enough as in it wasn't thought out enough. It wasn't
No. It
in
sounded
the mix.
fake.
It wasn't in that world.
Yeah.
It felt like the, what's it called? Foley sound. where you record the sound.
Yeah.
And they do it for all films. It's not that they've done anything wrong, that you record it afterwards, but then they haven't really thought, how do we mix this into the blend? They've
Yeah,
just
but they
put it on.
they kind of got it towards the end when they went into the catacombs, but before that, it just sounded like they just chucked it on top, and it was like, well, that definitely sounds fake. Maybe they did it on purpose to make you think that, oh, it actually is fake, and the priest is actually doing it, but then
It's probably giving them a bit more credit than
yeah, but then actually thinking that I just think they fucked up the sound effects, and I don't think we should give it a star.
Tell you what I did think about the sound effects while watching this is that it's all meant to be from mounted cams on the heads and stuff.
Yeah,
It didn't sound like a Hollywood film, but it didn't sound horrendous.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's average. But
Yeah.
then it was like maybe they are purposefully giving us the sound of stuff that comes from that equipment to further implement that idea that it's all coming from these cameras and mounted cameras.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No.
Okay, no stars.
No stars. No
Overall
stars.
experience. Where are we now?
Overall experience.
No, sorry, no, I mean stars.
So
So for tension, it got half. Gore, it got half. Performance, it got half. So we're on 1.5.
1.5.
I think it deserves a 2, so I give it half a star for overall experience.
Now, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because it is shit, but it is quite good as well. And I quite like being left with more questions than answers. I
Yes.
kind of like that.
Yeah. Have I convinced you a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Like, when the first time I watched it, I was like, whoa, what the f***?
Well, I don't mind what you do. Do whatever you want to do. The Hollywood Reporter wrote that this film had plenty of chilling atmosphere, but lacks bite, and that's about right.
That is about right. Bite. Yeah, bite. Because I
No
don't know
one
about
bites
you.
anyone in the whole film. Definitely lacks bite.
Anytime I watch a found sort of footage film like this, or like Paranormal Activity or anything, where you've got cameras up in a room and you have to watch what those cameras are seeing late at night, I'm always looking about. I'm
Yes.
like, oh, is something going to pop out? And there was a lot of those moments in there, and I'm just like, waiting for something to pop out. Nothing pops out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. Maybe I got that film
what
wrong.
would have been good for this film is what they did in House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, just put loads of little secret little
Yeah.
little bits.
Because I'm
going
going to watch that series again soon.
Yeah, you've got to count the ghosts.
Watched it once, and I loved the whole thing.
Absolutely fucking amazing.
And I'm going to watch it again because I did the whole YouTube Where Are the Ghosts I Missed. And they weren't there. I can't believe they were there. I didn't see that. And then when someone circles it with a red circle and then points an arrow to it, it's so obvious. So I'm going to watch that again. They're doing a second series, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be
awesome.
sick.
But my point was, for this film, they should have had that. They should have had extra little things
I think they should have.
in the background.
Yeah.
Even just a twitch of a candle moving. Something for you as the viewer
Yeah.
to pick up on as you go along. And
Yeah.
make
to-
yeah. Or even just slight enough to make you think, did that happen?
So
What's
there was
happening
some
here?
from the surveillance in the church where the priest is down in front of the altar.
Yeah. Getting off to God.
Yeah, and then and Nat went, "Oh, did you see that?" I was like, "No, what is it? Look!" Nah, and it was just the priest's shadow.
Okay.
But exactly that.
something.
Yeah, exactly that. They could have had something like that.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
The bits they did have like that were really obvious, like the cross falling off the wall.
Yeah.
It was
They
obvious.
could
It
just-
did make you jump.
Yeah.
But it was a cheap jump.
They could have just added those little.
So let's leave it at 2.
2.
I'm giving it half. You're not giving it up in 2.
Yeah,
I think
let's
that's
leave
about
it at
right
2.
because
Alright,
I did not enjoy it.
Eh.
I think we're doing your film choice next.
Yeah.
But I'm going for a surprise piss.
Oh.
Because I'm dying for one.
Yeah.
So we're going to pause and we're back in a sec.
Pause.
Bye. Oh, wait, not it's not time for that bye yet, is it? Right, I'm back from my draining the snake session.
Wow.
Sorry, we don't usually have a break there. But we are going on to Jimmy's film choice, a.k.a. Joey's most embarrassing / worst point of the podcast episode.
Wow. I don't know.
Jimmy could say the name of the film within the description. I'd get it wrong because I panic in these situations.
I've just got to have a little sip of brandy before we do this.
Jimmy's description, while you're having that drink, could say there's a family that has to get in an exorcist because their daughter's taken over by an evil spirit, so they call in the exorcist, and I'm like, I don't know, Little House on the Prairie?
Wow. Alright,
That's
okay.
how bad I am.
Are you ready for
The
it?
brandy's alright, isn't it?
What?
The brandy, it's alright.
Yeah, it's alright. It's keeping me warm. Right, here we go. So I thought, I'm going to... you chucked out a found footage film, so I'm going to chuck one out as well. So here we go. You ready for this?
Yep.
A young videographer answers an online ad for a one-day job in a remote town to record the last messages of a dying man. When he notices the man's odd behaviour, he starts to question his intentions.
Dunno.
Dunno?
Nope, no idea.
Okay. It is the 2014 film Creep.
Oh, no, not seen it, not heard of it.
Wow, you not heard of it?
Nope.
Oh my god. You are gonna...
Is it good? Was it big? Should I have heard of it?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. 100% not. But you've heard of Blumhouse.
Yes, yeah.
Blumhouse Productions.
Yeah,
Any film they touch is f***ing gold.
Sweet.
Alright? This, you are gonna love it. 100% you're gonna love it. It's only an hour and 10 minutes long. But it's the same sort of found footage, shaky cam, but it's very... You're gonna be surprised and you're gonna be shocked, and I think you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna love it. It is so good.
Nice.
You're gonna like it. It's good.
The Creep.
Creep.
Just Creep.
Just called Creep, and then there's Creep 2 as well.
Where can people find it?
They can find it on Netflix, or they can buy a DVD if they can still that. Could download it or stream it, or whatever. I don't know where you get it from. I don't know.
Well, if it's on Netflix, it's handy. I just like to let people know. So
yeah, it's on
you
Netflix.
can watch that before we do an episode on it, and then you'll be prepared, and we won't be spoiling the film for you. I had actually someone message me say, I usually listen to the podcast anyway. I'm paraphrasing, by the way. I don't have the message in front of me.
Okay.
I usually listen to the podcast anyway, and I like it. But I had to stop while listening to The Perfection.
Okay.
Because it sounded really interesting, and I wanted to go and watch the film without having it spoiled.
That's fair. Well, yeah,
That's-
watch the film
That's fair
first.
play. The idea is go and watch the film and then listen to the podcast. Obviously, you don't have to do that. Listen to it if you just want to come here to spend time with me and Jimmy.
So, what I think we're going to do now is, like, a few days before we release the episode, we're going to chuck out a nice little advert on Facebook where you could check us out. Where
And
we will
Instagram.
we're going to tell you what film we're going to watch, or what film's going to come out in the next few days that we're going to review, so then you can watch it. Innit? That's the way
So
it's
if you
going down, I
listen to
think.
the podcast, if you listen to every episode, you'll know what's coming up.
Yeah.
Because we just told you.
But if you ain't,
But if you haven't listened to a specific episode for any reason, like you don't want the film ruined, you can still, on social media, see our little snippet, our little trailer, where we talk about what the film's going to be. We just did it for the Borderlands.
yeah.
And we'll carry on doing it.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Beautiful. And the plot slot's going to be shorter. We're on a different time now. We're going for it
This is a
time.
brand new madhouse.
Yeah, we're coming at you this time.
No more elongated plot slots boring the shit out of us.
Yeah,
If it's
we're on
boring us, it's got to be
Yeah.
boring you.
it. Yeah, we're on it. We're on it.
And I'm beginning to bore myself right now, so I'm going to call Time of Death on episode 23?
23.
Is that right?
I
that
don't
right?
know, is it? Might be.
Anyway.
23, 24.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 episodes before our first guest, Andy Bones.
Bones.
Don't even know how that's happening yet. I'll message him. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it. He is the guitarist for Cretin 77, the bass guitarist for Headstone Horrors, and the guitarist of Chumbawamba.
Chimichanga Youth.
Cowabunga Dude.
Chimichanga
Youth. It's Chimichanga Youth is the other band, and he will be with us in a couple of episodes' time, but we will see you next time on the Madhouse podcast, where we will be talking about the found footage film Creep. Welcome to the Master of the Macabre. We're going to pick our saint and take him apart from this. No?
Back to the pub. Yeah, boy. But they're not welcome at this pub.